Hey everybody, Slade Strife here. So I want to go over Meseta grinding. Meseta is used for pretty much everything in the game that you would essentially want, from buying gear to outfit your character, fashion, buying potions, all of that fun shit. Pretty much, if it's not cash shop, it'll go through Meseta. Some of these prices can get absolutely insane with items costing 100 million plus Meseta. So grinding for it can take a while. Now that being said, this is not a min-max guide. This is not the best method. This is not like super streamlined. This is just some tips and tricks that I personally use that help me out. That work for me. So there's going to be a couple of things that we go over. The main one is to basically learn how to work the shops and the player market. Other things that we will go over briefly are things like dailies and weeklies, as well as finishing different runs and stuff like that. So one of the most important things you want to do when you first log into the game is check your ARC's missions. You'll have a set of dailies that will provide experience points. So these are good boosts to get your character leveled up fairly quickly and get you into higher runs that will drop more Meseta and better gear that you can then turn around and sell. This is also, of course, this guide will mainly be assuming that you do have premium, so you can use the player market and you can trade items with other players, as well as get other different bonuses and whatnot. So first thing you want to do when you log in is definitely finish your dailies. When you hit max level, they're super easy to do, or once you get up to the point where you can do super hards, they're easy to do. You can basically knock out all 5 dailies in one run, and it's just a matter of logging in and making sure you do it. Then you have weeklies. These just reset today, but they reset roughly usually on Tuesday, sometime in the afternoon. Sometimes Wednesday. It depends on how the updates go. Weeklies are important because, as you can see right there, just taking client orders will net you 1 million Meseta once you've earned already 200,000. So as long as you are doing your daily orders and stuff like that, you're guaranteed 1.2 mil every week that you play. Then you have also clearing an advanced quest once you get to that point, and that'll net you another 405,000, and roughly by then you can earn, just doing the 10 daily orders, the advanced quest, and the take orders make even more Meseta. You'll make about 2.5 mil every week just from completing these quests and doing your client orders. It is a massive boost, especially at your low level once you start doing these, and it's a breeze to knock these out. Then you have tiered missions. These are how you boost up your mission pass, which can get you stuff that you can then turn around and use to make better items, customize your character and stuff like that, but we will get into that on a later guide. But that is to kind of knock out some of the better ways to just make some quick Meseta just by doing missions that you're going to be doing anyway. The next thing is doing client orders. You will see people walking around with things above their heads. You can talk to them and accept missions. Alternatively, the best way to go about it is to talk to the quest clerk, and before you walk into the gate to accept your mission, if you hit start and go over to client orders, there's a spot right here that'll say orders that can be accepted in the fields of ongoing quest. If you click that, it'll open up a handy list, and you can just go through and click through everybody, and you don't have to wander around, figure out where you gotta go, where you're going. It'll just give you a whole list that you can just accept all of them right then and there, and then you just gotta wander around and find them afterwards. So once you're done finishing the quest, the first persons that you want to turn into will be the daily order officer right here. And these will give you daily boost bonuses that are like tri-boosters, so you'll get more Meseta to drop, as well as more experience and rare drops. Just for turning these in, on top of the fact that you can see this mission was worth 18,000 Meseta, this one was worth 18,000, and this one was worth 9,000. And it's just as simple as knocking these runs out, and these missions can pay out really nicely as long as you keep doing them every day. So we'll go around and turn those in. And that, of course, finished up a daily. So. Okay. And so the next big thing is inventory management and making money doing player mission stuff. Or player shops. So if you go here, you go to personal shop, and you can do manage your personal shop, and you can put things up to sell. So I'm going to pull some of this stuff down. And show you how all of this works. Alright, so click here. Down at the bottom, the way Phantasy Star generally tends to work is you're not actually buying the weapon, you are buying the abilities tied onto the weapons. They're called augments. So you can go through here and you can do number of augments, and you'll see it's got its power level, its element, and how many augments it has. So let's say we click the lambda right here, and it'll bring it up into the shop. You can go here, and you can even check your item augment market and search. So there's nothing with the same items here. And if you do all weapons, you see that there is a weapon that is comparable that has these three selected abilities right here. If there's anything with a green hand pointed out that way, that is a high requested augment. So it is weapons that have that, or items that have that, are highly traded weapons. So Mark Grief, Vinculum, and Elder Soul are all high traded weapons that have those augments onto them. So if you hit search all weapons, you see that this is one that's got those three abilities plus a couple of more, and it's worth 42,000. So then you can just come in, set your price. The price that you are setting is the amount that you will be getting back, and then you have the tax inclusive price up at the top. That is the price that the player will be playing. So if you want to undercut a little bit, you can drop it down a couple of Meseta. So they'll be paying 41,998 Meseta, and you see that you get 39,999. So always take into account that the number that you're putting in is not the number that the person will be playing or paying. So if you're trying to undercut a little bit, or you're trying to price appropriately, make sure that the number in those brackets is what you are wanting to actually post it as. That being said, people do not know how to handle a market at all in this game. So you'll see things like, let's see if we can find something. So the number of augments. We'll go through and we'll post up a couple of things. So like this. It goes from 36,000 to 31 to 15 to 1,000. These weapons are not worth this low. They should be sitting around 36,000 to 40,000 roughly for what is on this weapon. And this is what happens when people just want to sell shit. Please do not be one of these people, because all you're doing is devaluing these abilities and the weapons that are tied to them to make a quick buck. And the problem is some of these abilities are very hard to grind for, and when you basically post these things up at these prices, yes, you're getting quick money and it's getting a quick sale, but it is also devaluing these items. So you're going to get people that are going to grind for an hour or so, or an hour or two, trying to get something to drop. They finally get it to drop, and it's worth absolutely nothing because people are trying to undercut each other. You know, undercutting should look closer to like what's going on right here, where somebody's got it up for 39,000, and then the next person's going for 36. That's an acceptable undercut. But you have some people where you get weapons that are worth 15, 20 mil, and they'll post it up for 10 mil, which is a great deal for somebody, and it's great that you're getting the money really quickly, but you're just dropping the price down, because Phantasy Star will actually keep track of the average prices of all of these, of all of the gear that's going. So if you go to top sell, you see right here, average price, it says 5.8 mil. And if you click it, now you see that it's 4.2, because people have just constantly undercut. Like right here, there's an undercut for 4.7 mil all the way down to 4.2, just because people want to make a quick buck. And now we have, you know, 5 or 6 of these sitting here, and that's now the new value versus what it's normally going for. So these are the little things to keep in mind when you are pricing things. Please price appropriately. It will make it a lot easier, especially when you find an item that is easier for you to grind depending on your playstyle or depending on what run you like to do. You don't want to devalue an item that can get you money and that can get everybody money. It's just common sense at that point. But at that point, the other biggest tip that I can say is try to keep a limit of Meseta on you, so that way you don't overspend in terms of buying the drinks on the ship, or you try to save a little bit by little bit. I try to always keep a baseline maximum of 1 million Meseta on me. So I go here, and I can store the Meseta, and then that way I just keep building up. And if you do that, like if you do 10,000 or you do 100,000 or you do 1 million or whatever like that, you can very easily see if you've gained more, if you spent more, and then you can kind of tweak it appropriately depending on how much stuff you're buying, or, you know, how you're tweaking stuff around. But as far as Meseta making tips, those are the big ones. Definitely always do your dailies, and always knock out the weeklies as fast as possible. Roughly, once you get going and once you get used to the game and the mechanics and the runs that you like to do, you can knock out the weeklies in about 3 days, and you can knock out your dailies in 1 mission once you get used to the game. And definitely work with the augments. So anytime that you are out on a mission, I'll show you. Anytime that you are out on a mission, you can send stuff to your box. One thing I definitely suggest is getting premium, because you get a premium box. So from anywhere in a mission, out on the field, in the middle of a boss fight, wherever you're at, even during the middle of a fight, if you've picked up loot, if you right trigger, I believe it's going to be right click on PC, you can highlight a bunch of stuff, click it, deposit to the storage, and you can immediately deposit whatever you have straight to your storage, and keep your inventory clear, and just try to organize stuff after the mission. That way you don't hold up too many people if you are running like faster runs such as advanced quests, or super hard boss rush style stuff. And the biggest tip that I can give you is that if you do want to spend a little bit of money, definitely buy the inventory slots. Having more than 50 inventory slots will help you, even if it's just up to like 70 or 80. That will allow you to have all of your gear that you need on you, and collect more stuff. But always pick up everything, and because even if you can't sell it to another player in a somewhat efficient manner in terms of just getting rid of stuff, you can always NPC it. And generally when you NPC just crappy gear, you will tend to offset whatever cost you're paying in terms of like potions or identifying gear. But yeah, those are my kind of go-to tips and tricks for Meseta grinding. The next guide will be dedicated to SG farming. It's going to be a smaller guide. Will only probably be about 5 or 10 minutes because there's not much to it other than just doing a few things. But yeah, thank you. And I will see you in the next video.